of either threatening people with sanctions and bombs, or then we turn around and we finally find somebody that we put in charge of a country and we support some dictator, say like a Musharraf, then we give him money. And my idea is there's a third option, and that is be friends with people. They're going to be imperfect, but we're imperfect. A strong country will be working to improve ourselves, or us as individuals, or ourselves as a country, and then set an example for the world. That's my idea of strength and confidence, because I am very confident about what the American people stand for and what our country stands for. We have a great Constitution. We have great traditions and freedom. We once knew what a free market economy was about. We once knew what sound money was all about. And we have lost that confidence. And that is what we have to have our strength in. Strength in the confidence that freedom really works. And when we do that, then we don't have to be pushing ourselves. I think it's insecurity that makes people push too hard and say, be like us and do it, or we'll threaten you. It's quite a bit different. It is strength in self-confidence and belief in our system of government.
Okay, thank you. This is a town hall meeting, so we'll begin with this gentleman right in the back there, please. Here's a microphone right there, sir. Go ahead and stand.
Congressman Paul, why should I be voting for you instead of a more mainstream conservative candidate such as Mitt Romney or Mike Huckabee?
Well, I would say the most important reason is that I'm a fiscal conservative, and I have a record for that. Others talk about it. Everybody's a fiscal conservative when they're running in the Republican primary. And, when the young people come and join the campaign, and others, when they hear about my candidacy, maybe on one of the earlier debates, they would go to the website and look at the platform and see the consistency of it. But many of them then would go to the congressional website and say, wow, he even voted that way. And he even voted that way even if he had to vote by himself. So it was that consistency in the defense of the Constitution which has gained so much momentum for us and so much support. So it's the consistency in the message and acting out that way in the past and sticking to the principles and the promises that I have made. Now, the other candidates like Mike Huckabee and Mitt Romney, they've had their experiences. Mike Huckabee, if you look at his record, he's a big taxer. And he has to sort of quiet that. But for a Republican primary, you ought to know about that he's a big taxer. And then I think Mitt Romney's record has been rehashed many, many times in all the debates. His challenge on where he was when he was running for the Senate and then for the governorship, and what his position was on right to life and what it was on immigration. And, well, I changed this, I changed this. I think they are seen as flip-floppers. And if they look at my record, I think people can see he stuck by his guns. And if you look back, there's appearing now some videos. You know that YouTube video? Boy, it picks up a lot of stuff. And every once in a while they pick some of those old videos up, and I sort of wish, I hope they don't show all of those. But they do pick up the videos, and they show them that speeches I might have given 20 years ago on the Federal Reserve or different interviews on TV, and they'll come and say, you said exactly the same thing 20 years ago. So I think that is the difference. If people want somebody to keep their promises, they're consistent, and above all else, and I've talked about this so much, is a clear understanding of the Constitution. No lip service to the Constitution. A clear understanding and obedience to the Constitution.
Yes, sir. Go ahead. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Dr. Paul, and thank you for joining us today. My question is really two parts. One, the nation continuously runs very large trade deficits with quote-unquote trading partners such as Mexico and China and a lot of the Pacific Rim. What as a president would you propose to do with that, if anything? The other question is, you keep talking about a strong dollar and a dollar that's rooted in something other than what we have today. And I was wondering if you could just explain a little more clearly, since we're not in a 30-second soundbite, and let us know exactly where you're coming from on that.
Okay, and actually your two questions are interrelated because it is the dollar system that helps hurt our trade imbalance. And we have a tremendous imbalance. Right now, for us to finance our extravagance, our consumption, our military operation requires that we borrow over $800 billion every year. That's how much we spend and consume over and above what we produce. So literally, we could, and at times it looks like we might be held hostage by our banker. And the tragedy of all this, the mess that we have in our economy is our banker now has become China and Saudi Arabia and Japan. And it has come across because of the monetary system, something that motivated me to run for Congress many years ago, and the idea that we don't have anything backing our currency. Because of the Bretton Woods Agreement, the dollar was supposed to be as good as gold, and everybody trusted the dollar became the reserve currency of the world. Instead of holding gold in the bank, they held dollars, and we were supposed to protect the value of the world currency. Well, that broke down in the 1970s, and then what happened was there was a threat to the dollar. We recovered from that in 1979 by having interest rates of 21% and restoring confidence. But somehow or another, the world was willing to accept this idea that the dollar was as good as gold. So we had the privilege of printing gold. And the gold standard, you can't print it, and you have to back off. You don't have any money. Like if you and I spent too much,